glad you're back. Happy 4th of July. I hope you all had a great weekend.
Got a big night tonight.
Yeah, I know. Lots of cool stuff coming. And oops, did that last week too. So I wanted to say I watched last Tuesday's show.
We like that song a lot.
Watched last Tuesday's show, and Rob and I had a kind of slow start, but we're better. Now it's that side that's getting the radon gas. So just so you know. All right, glad you're here.
All right, so
big night.
We got the rally, of course, like we always do. We got John Lavin's coming. That's going to be amazing. We got a bunch of studs from below RVP blowing up the base shop, doing huge numbers. And then we're going to have a little bit more info on the upcoming big events, because I know y'all are waiting. When are we going to do another one? What's it going to be? How do I get in the room? You're going to get a little bit more details tonight. And then we're going to look back on the last Super Saturday, just kind of, if this is new, you can see it for the first time if you've never seen one before. And also just get you excited to show you what we did before. And we were just talking about it just before we started. How are we going to take it to the next level? And it's...
I'm always amazed every time we do one, like all the things that we can think of, given enough time and enough encouragement.
Yep.
We can come up with some pretty awesome stuff that we've got headed your way. So we've kind of already talked about the dates, but go ahead and let's do the social catch up real quick, our really standard stuff.
Yeah, so basically, you got to subscribe. Same way you're watching this right now. If there's a subscribe button, you can click. There's also a little bell icon that if you click, if you turn that on, you'll get a notification in addition to just, whenever you open the YouTube app, will show up if we're streaming. But you'll get notified when we stream. So if you click the bell icon, that'll help you out. And then Facebook, at Let's Get Bigger Go Home. Instagram, at SNSD Factory. Twitter, at SNSD Factory.
Oh
yeah. So yeah, that's how you get in touch with us. And
I think we have one more graphic that kind of helps. One more explaining graphic: the Twitter and Instagram, the hashtag, Facebook mention.
Yeah, we've got a social wall that we use. Specifically, we use it a lot for recognition on the big events, but it can be used all month long. If you want to, post something, you want to recognize somebody on your team and have it broadcast on the show, especially at the end we do a roll. If you use our hashtag SNSD Factory on Twitter or Instagram and you make sure your post's public, it's going to show up here. And then you can also mention at Let's Get Bigger Go Home on Facebook, and it's going to show up there as well. And then we've got a text line. It's a little bit harder for us to get. We kind of manually put it into the wall, but if you need to get in touch with us that way, that works. But emails, YouTube comments, direct messages, private messages, none of those are going to show up. Nothing private's going to show up. So make sure the post's public. Make sure you use the right hashtag or the right mention, and you'll be able to, basically broadcast some recognition to thousands and thousands of people. And one last thing, hit the thumbs up button right now. Just below, right next to the title, at the bottom of the window pane where the video's playing right now. Hit the thumbs up button. We'd love to hear from you. Helps out the algorithm. I don't know. Magically makes it where more people watch us, I think. So
kind of doubles our numbers automatically. That's pretty awesome. I like that idea. So just a quick shout out to some people who are already on: Joe Red, Ken Rogers, J10, Jennifer Bowman, Mike Webb, Katrina McCarver, William Bovine, Dave Vogelsan, Sylvia Robinson, Bobby Cheeks. Welcome, you guys. So glad that you're all here. They're dropping in pretty quick.
Awesome.
So came on kind of quick. Ken, who's always first, right? He texted, so he was still first.
Texted me
because
we were down,
because we were a little quick coming up.
You might want to take this moment if your team's texting you asking what's going on. We didn't get the thing live, or it was live, but
refresh your screen. You're all ready to go.
Refresh your screen. Let people know we're ready to go. We're totally public now. We had a little snafu, but we fixed it. So everybody should be able to get on if they were having trouble earlier. So make sure they know.
All right. So next event, it's already live on the website to register. We came live this afternoon. If we can go to the graphic, we've already set some dates, August 7th and 8th. So make sure that you mark those down. The times we're still working on because we want to pick what's the very best, with the things that will work best for everybody. We want to recognize all of our VIPs who have been just busting it. We're going to have a ton of those. We're going to have a ton of people at the VIP huddle. We are going to do contest and recognition and some awesome speakers, because Andy never fails to deliver the very best that's available to us. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, this is the
Still
event you want
working
to
on
rally
it,
around
right?
right here. This is going to be huge.
Yep, still working on it. We're going to talk each time during the month about what's coming up next and when we get there. Come out on email, social. So make sure you're paying attention and you're engaged at every possible avenue that you can.
Yeah, and start
right?
fighting right now, because you're gonna.
Yes.
The things that are on the table for the VIPs and the celebrity
Yep.
guests and all that stuff, you want to fight to be
Whatever.
in the house in Atlanta watching the show live like
Yeah.
last time, because it's going to be even better this time.
Yeah, right. Don't wait for the rules to come out.
Yeah.
Right?
If you've been around Andy
there's
long
gonna be a
enough,
contest.
yeah, there's going to be a contest. You probably have an idea what it's going to be based on. Recruiting. So if you want to do it, just focus on what we always focus on, and
DDR.
you'll get there.
All right, so on to the rally. Trish, is there any way to look at Trish and say hi? She's joining us on Zoom again. Hey Trish, there she is. Hi. Oh, you have to unmute.
Hold on, that's me.
Oh, hold on, Trish.
There she is.
Say hey.
Hi, everybody. How are y'all?
We're good. We're glad you're here. We're getting ready to lay out the rules for the rally. You ready?
I'm more than ready, and just get those numbers in fast, because there were people that missed out getting counted last week.
Yep.
So
Yep.
We
It goes quick.
we
call
gave you a
for
little
'em?
bit more time, both the people and you a little bit more time in that last segment.
Yeah,
so.
we spread them out a little bit. It's got a few more minutes.
it's still, you still get those draggers at the
I
very
know.
end. So
Yeah.
come on, when they
8:35.
announce it, send it in.
8:35 is too late.
Yeah, technically people can
Yep.
watch this like a few minutes delayed if they get. Make sure that I think there's a button if you're not watching live, you can click live, or
Yep.
you can just get the little progress slider and move it as far to the right as it'll let you do it. And
That's a good point.
That's a good
right? Because
point,
if you
yeah.
dropped in someplace back.
yeah. I mean, if
You're
you're
gonna be-
10 minutes late,
yeah,
then of course
you're going to be 10
everything.
minutes late
Yeah.
the whole night. So make sure you're watching current, right? So
Yep.
the rules, please, sir, for the rally.
Am I, sir?
You are, sir.
Okay.
Tonight.
RVPs only. The rally has started. So
Here we go.
use the text line 404-465-1830. We're going to be showing this to you all night, but save it in your phone if you're an RVP, and if you want to just text us your last name, if you got a last name that's a little too generic, or maybe you're Walter and Darren Charles, or you got to differentiate if you need to, but the main thing is we need to know who you are, how many people you got watching. So just send us a text. RVPs only right now. Just the RVPs. Say how many people you got watching, who you are, and you get an update. Maybe get in touch with a few more people on GroupMe or the Band app and find out what they're doing. Just send another text, update your numbers. But eventually we're going to take the top players and figure out who's really got the most when we do an individual head count within those base shops. So, and we're going to see who's going to win and get the cup, who's going to get the time with Andy. So it's a big deal. Got to fight for the cup. And I was actually thinking about this earlier.
Yes.
If we could get those Stanley brand insulated cups and brand them
brand
with
them?
that,
All right.
and then we could be fighting for the Stanley Cup. So I'm not a hockey guy, but if we're gonna make,
Last real man sport left.
yeah, last
That's
real
probably
man's
true.
sport.
All right, I'll look for a Stanley Cup for you.
But it needs to be Stanley brand.
I know.
No Yeti.
I understand. No Yeti, just Stanley. I'll run
Otherwise, joke
run
doesn't
to
work.
Walmart, right?
Yeah.
All right, we want to recognize last week's winner, Eddie, two-time winner.
Two-time
right?
winner.
Beat out Walter Charles 2 times.
Yep.
So good job, Eddie. Eddie loved his time with Andy, and let's see what he does this week, right? One more time with the graphics so we can look at the text number, 404-465-1830. Write it down, put it in your phone, get ready to share it with everybody when we tell you.
Yeah.
Not before.
Right
please.
now, RVPs only. But yes.
RVPs only right now. I wanted to do a shout out to Amy. She made me this cool graphic. I just texted her this morning. So you all saw it on the emails that came out. Will you be the next rally winner?
Got to fight for it.
And she's just cranks our graphics out for us and helps us does set up all of our social media, teaches me how to use it so I don't become repetitive. She's awesome, and I would love to say to her, happy birthday, Amy.
Happy
Today's
birthday.
her birthday. Do we talk about
No.
how old she? Okay,
No?
never mind. I'm
No,
sorry.
never.
We don't talk about how old she is. But happy birthday. We love you and we thank you. And it's all very, very fun. Do we have anything else?
I think that's
us.
pretty sure
All
that's
right,
it.
guys, rally's rolling, and you know what's coming up, and now it's time for the big man, Andy Young.
Oh, where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay. Hey, welcome back. It's Tuesday, and it's what an incredible month we just finished up. Got another one here, and we got almost 4 full weeks left in July. Got till August 3rd. What a great thing. I've had 17 people text me since this broadcast started, so I'm going to turn it back over to Rob for a second. A lot of basketball fans and former basketball players are totally confused about something with the algorithm and how that's going to help us. And they don't know what an algorithm is. So I'm back to you, Rob, for an explanation.
An algorithm is a mathematical model that you can use to solve problems.
That's why they didn't know. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That it?
It's like a mathematical problem on a test or something.
Yeah, it's a little more complex than that. Yeah, it's multiple, but yeah, it's a model, mathematical model.
All right, so it's a mathematical model. You're going to help us by following the rules. I think that's the whole point, which football players do. Basketball players fall down and wait for somebody to call foul. So anyway, I just want to clear that up. We had a basketball guy on last week, and he said some disparaging comments. I suffered for a couple days with that because, like we just talked about hockey, the Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup, hockey, it's like the last real sport out there where you can, somebody can lose all their teeth and nobody's going to throw a penalty flag. But anyway, wow, that's a great way to start the program. Anyway, hope you had a great 4th of July. We also, for Amy, I have a quick shout out. Here's Amy. She's she's legal age. We're not going to say how old she is. And she's back at home doing all this stuff. We have the picture of her. Is that?
That's up.
That's up. So that's Amy back when she was about 1 year old, riding that horse and down at Disney World on the carousel. And what a long way she's come, a long way, baby. And she's at home, of course, with Andy and Rob, and she's got another baby, a third one on the way. So you got Amy and Rob, and then she's got the third one coming in October.
Second one.
No, I said Amy and Rob.
Oh.
Andy and Rob.
Andy and Rob.
And
I
she's got
get the
third
joke
one on. You got that wasn't a joke, dude. Okay. Deals with all three of them. Yeah. Okay. Good. Don't you have like a laughter track or something for yourself? Thank you. All right. Very good. So, but she's run just amazing work behind the scenes and the whole social media. I mean, it's just been amazing what's been done. So, real proud of her. Happy birthday, baby. And the thing I want to talk about is August 7th and 8th, man. We got a Winston-Salem coming up. Not a Super Saturday. It's going to be in Winston-Salem. We're going to talk more about that as we go through the program. But that means we're going to have the huddle. And boy, I got some stuff that I'm ready to talk about, but I can't talk about it with everybody. You
Get it
gotta
off your chest, Andy.
That's it. I'm going to get off my chest in the huddle because you got to be a VIP, which means you got to have 20 recruits in 2 months. So we're going to have that on there so you can get on the huddle on Saturday morning. Darla's over here ready to put a dagger through the back of my head, to making up the rules as I go along. She's like, who's going to look this crap up? That's right. 20 recruits over 2 months get you in the huddle, VIP land. And that's where you want to be. The insight, what's going on, why it's critical to build and why it's critical to build now and more critical than ever. I mean, what we've come through, because I was talking to Bobby Peterman, in the home office. I had a conversation with him earlier about just different things that are going on and his insight and some of my insight and going back and forth and with Glenn. And the reality is, what we've done the last 4 months, March, April, May, and June have been absolutely incredible. Who would have ever figured, here we are 4 months in, and everything's just as amazing as it's been. Nobody would have bet. People would say, oh, yeah, I saw that coming. Well, you know what? We've talked about for 43 years, and I've been here for over 40 of them now, of the 43 years, we're recession-proof, we're depression-proof, we're stock market. Anything that goes on, I don't care, disaster has struck. Primerica's always come shrugging. Well, here's one that nobody saw coming, and none of us, unless you're, we're around during World War II, Peggy Hightower and a couple other people, probably Ron Sr. Hey, best wishes to Ron Sr. He had the COVID and I had 3 real rough days, and he's over that now. But, unless you're around like a long, long time ago, the reality is you don't know anything about any kind of thing in American history that ever happened like this. And we have flown through it. because what we do is always right, always in fashion. People thought, you know, that, oh, robots are going to take over the world. And you know what? If you're in an industry or some area where there's robots that are capable of doing some things, yeah, that's an issue. But I think people found out it's not just going to be a robot. At some point, people are going to want to come out. They will come out, even when it's, you know, they're not supposed to come out. They're supposed to wear the mask, supposed to do this, supposed to do that, social distancing. As you saw in New York, in California, and everywhere, there's a hunger, there's a need for people to get out and be amongst each other. And that'll happen at some point, you know, as we get down the road. Right now, if you watch the July 4th, my 40th anniversary, we did the op meeting, and that was a great day, great fun, and really enjoyed kind of doing more of a folksy opportunity meeting, just telling some stories and stuff. But, you know, you think about this company, we were built on, you know, on the backs of relationships, you know, kneecap to kneecap, meeting with people, and that's never going to go out of fashion. What we do makes a huge difference for people out there. Somebody said, well, how long do you think Primerica's shelf life is? You know, because there's other industries, like some of us, you know, coming up, IBM is going to be here forever. The AT&T, now there's an AT&T back now, but it wasn't like Ma Bell back in the day. There's been so many, Circuit City showed up, so many different things along the way that were huge, big companies. And all of a sudden, because change happened, and that goes way back to when the railroad forgot they were in the transportation business, moving people and moving things, when the airplane came along. You know, then the automobile came along, and they tried to pass laws, they tried to stop everything to preserve their old industry. Well, one of the things about Primerica, we're going to be here. And we're going to be strong as ever. And what we do has a huge need. People are nervous about their insurance, their investments, mortgages down the road as we keep rolling that out. And we had record numbers last couple of months. And Glenn Williams, you heard that last week if you watched the broadcast. It's amazing how we just keep chugging along. And it's just like the mutual fund concept. You know, we're not going to get you killed. All these people, well, I got a guy that's got an investment, get 87% or 115%. Yeah, okay, you're making a kill, and then you're going to get killed. As they say in Wall Street, pigs get greedy, pigs get slaughtered. We're just chugging along, doing the right thing for people all the time. As John Addison used to tell me, and we don't do anything with these sharp instruments. And what we do never goes out of fashion. So you got to make sure that you're out there busting it. Don't be a punk during this COVID time. Even with your Zooming, you continue to run the play, make adjustments as you go along, but you not only have to be the loudest voice in the room, you have to be the loudest correct voice, which is why it's critical for us to stay in touch with each other. You know, we are out there on Tuesday, you know, for 4th of July, Wednesday, Saturday. Crap, today's Tuesday. Look at me. I don't know. They all run together. I'm like Jenny Carter. I can't even remember what the hell day it is. I do know, however, that we got 2 more pay cycles. Let me just pull this up real quick because I can make sure. I don't know about, you know, what else is going on, but I do know that I've been paid $188,914, $188,914 so far. We've got 2 pay cycles. Hopefully we're going to go over $200,000 in cash, so I can remember that. I can't remember what day of the week it is, but I know we got 2 pay cycles there. So we got some great stuff going on at Primerica, and what you got to remember is like 4th of July, it was great for people getting back together. We wore the masks, we had social distancing, we got donuts and sandwiches that were wrapped up so nobody was touching each other's forks and knives and, you know, serving dishes and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't a buffet, but mindful of what we have to do. But I want to challenge you to bust it hard, be the loudest voice in the room, be the correct voice, make sure you're getting the mentoring that you need. I told somebody in an appointment earlier today, I mean, it's the mentoring that you get and somebody that's going to pour into you in the right vehicle. If you're not in the right vehicle, you can cut an oak tree down with a sledgehammer. It might take you 2 or 3 months. Maybe you're a real strong Neanderthal. You can do it in a couple days or a couple weeks. You can cut an oak tree down with a sledgehammer. It'd be a whole lot better with an axe, even more important, a sharpened axe. Get around mentors and get what you need to make sure you sharpen the axe, or even better, a chainsaw. Crank that up, boom, it comes right down. The vehicle matters, and you've got the vehicle in place. Make sure that you are on track with what you're saying to your team as we move through this thing. If you're not growing, let's get it fixed quick. I mean, everybody else pretty much, a lot of people figured it out fairly quick. You still have time to go do that, but you got to make the choice of whether you're going to go do that and not get in the game, because time's moving. We're already in the second half of the year. It's time to go. So real proud of the job a lot of you've done. I know some of you getting in the game. I talked with Tahid Burke yesterday. He's got some great stuff happening. I'll be on a Zoom call with him. We got a lot of great people that are really moving right now. Liliana Velasquez, I mean, she didn't Long time, didn't get things moved. 10 by 5,000 last month, first time in over a year. So it's your turn to make your mark and get moving in this thing. I think right now we've got a quick Super Saturday wrap up. All right, so let's take a look at that.
Hey, Matt here at Nightglass. We're super excited. We're actually going live to about 3,000 to 5,000 people over YouTube this afternoon. Got a small studio audience here that we've actually set up a tent so everybody can social distance but actually come back together for some live meeting action. We'll be going live to the other 3,000 to 4,000 people out there in the internet land. We've got a great live drone shot that we're going to bring into the mix of things. 4 cameras, people outside in the tent, people in the studio. We've got tape rolls galore. It's going to be a fantastic day. Check it out. Claudia applauding, crowd out of the left-hand side of the tent. See what I'm saying? Back and forth with the people. Bell does last. You give Bell to the mic. 3, 2, 1, and go. You're open.
And you got to go out there and choose to win for you and your family to go get the job done.
And things are going great. We've got about an hour left of the broadcast. We've done 2 live drone shots. We've had guests from all over the country. We've had people watching all the way in Washington State. We're just wrapping up here a couple of more guest speakers. We'll go back out into the tent a little bit more. It's going to be ended up being a great, great broadcast. It's super exciting.
I had no idea how much I missed this.
You got to make a decision that you're going to do that. Nobody wants to follow a dull, disillusioned, frustrated, daggum crybaby. You can't be a punk and win.
Man, we've had an incredible day. About 4,000 people on the stream. We had a great crowd here watching live, kind of in the studio kind of experience, live drone shots. Jason TV in here did an incredible job putting all this together. All the stuff in the studio worked flawlessly. Super, super day. We had a great time.
We had so much fun on Super Saturday. We gave you guys a chance together for night class, and we want to thank them because they are like forever loyal. And they, that gave you guys a chance to see what we're doing.
Yep.
Right.
A little behind the scenes.
A little behind the scenes, and we do a little mini version of that on Tuesday. Obviously, there's no guest or anything, but there's a lot of like the same exact setup. When you come here, you'll get a chance to see that. And because it was so much fun, we wanted to give some of the people who came, some parts of the audience, a chance to tell you guys about what that experience was like, what we got to do on Friday night before Saturday. Usually it's the party after the party, but this was the party before the party.
Yeah.
So I want to
meeting before the
welcome
meeting.
Wes and Shay and Andrea and Shanti.
And before we get going, I wanted to congratulate Wes and Shay on promoting their first
Oh
RVPs.
yes,
which is
congratulations.
awesome. Way to go.
Applause.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are a
SNSD Factory.
Oh, all right. All right, you guys, take it away. You got 2, 3, 4 minutes. Tell us what you loved about it, what your experiences were. I heard there's stories to share.
Yeah, let's go with Wes first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was an amazing experience. I mean, getting a chance to be there Friday night, hanging out with, I'm talking about the great Peggy Hightower, $1 million earner, my coach Andrea Burke, $700,000 earner. And then you got people that went over diamonds by being there. Chris and Tarsha, $400,000 earner. Sean Hightower, $300,000. Matter of fact, as I was sitting there, Sean T. Walker was like, "Hey man, what's going on? So what's up with that ring?" I'm like, I ain't got it. He's like, "Wait, you ain't got it? What are you talking about?" He's like, and he looked around. He's like, "Do you know you're the only person here without the ring?" I'm like, "Hey, Sean, man, go ahead and keep that down, man. Don't even." He's like, Peggy, look, this guy is here and he ain't got the ring. Oh my gosh. And then it is so from 5 o'clock to like 7, 8, it was just like, hey man, we just ain't got it. I mean, Sean just kept on, I'm talking about lighting it up. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, that was the whole talk, man. So Peggy Hightower said it was nauseating. You remember that?
Hey, Shay.
It was nauseating that you guys are here and you ain't got a ring. You know, and the crazy thing is, she wasn't lying. Now, what I wanted to do to Sean at that time, I can't express on live TV. But all I'm saying is, you know, because of that event, you know, 10 days later, we got our ring. And then 3 weeks from that date, we promoted our first RVP. So, I mean, it just did a number for us. And, you know, I just appreciate things like Sean, you know, to push us, make things happen. So it was a great event.
Yeah, it was just exciting to be in the environment. You really didn't even know how much you missed it. The energy was there. You know, Andy was in 2 places at one time. He did magic tricks. And it was just great to be in that environment and just feel the energy. And we're just so excited for the next big event.
But I loved it, Wes, too, because you get the meeting before the meeting, and you know we get to talk about sports cars for about 2.5 hours. So I don't even know. Shay didn't even get to see you on the first night. And you know you talk about,
I didn't see you guys.
Yeah, you got to know whether, you know, if you're going to get the Ferrari 360, do you get the 6-speed or the F1 transmission? I mean, who are you hanging around with, and what are y'all talking about? You got to learn what's important. So. That's true. That was an awesome time I had that night. And then who do we want to go to next?
Well, first I want to say, worth the effort, right? Worth the effort to get there.
Yes, right? For sure. I mean, just being able to hang around the legends of the company, you know, Andy and Mary, and rub shoulders with these people is just, you know, they always say, you know, you are the people you hang out with. And to be around them like for like 24 hours, I was just, there's nowhere else where that will happen, when I can hang out with millionaires, like millionaires, and they're willing to pour into us, show us what we need to do, just motivate us and guide us during this path that we're going on.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. Next, let's hear from Andrea.
Hi guys, super excited to have been at Super Saturday, because let me tell you, there's no environment like a winning environment, an environment that can stretch you. And so being there, and actually we always say in Primerica, this business is not taught. We can't teach you this business. This business is caught. So you catch it in the environment. And they always say you gotta be at the table, stay at the table, and bring people there. And so I was just so excited. I wanted to hug everybody, because, you know, it's all about being in the tribe that's going big places. Staying in that environment keeps me focused on the goal I had, which is ISNSD, promoting RVPs that promote RVPs, because that's the biggest profession and the best paid profession in American business. So being there with you guys and to see the passion and the love that the Night Glass team has for us, and obviously that's, you know, has been caught by them because of Andy and his giant vision, his giant heart, and his giant love for the game. So when you're there, you're going to be with people that love this game, and then you're going to get to separate, you're going to get to dominate. We're in a decade of dominance, so make sure you're there, because winners win and winners separate, and then they dominate.
Thank you so much. So glad that you are, that was weird. So glad that you came on to share that with us. One last person, Sean T.
Hey, Don, how you doing?
Good. Giving him a hard time, huh?
Man, I'm so proud of Wes and Shay. Great job. Definitely very well, much deserved. You put in the hard work and paid your dues. But congratulations to you both. But that was a great environment. I mean, Andy always do an awesome job and know when to bring the leaders together. It was like he was like the owner of the NFL, and he called all the NFL business owners to come together and kind of call some plays. I mean, starting with Friday night, coming in to the nice hotel that had only been around 2 years, you know, put us up in a nice hotel, nice rooms. We walk in, we get VIP treatment. They gave us these nice tags walking in, and it was in a bag. And I was like, wow, this is nice. And then the hotel room was nice. The bed was nice and comfortable. And then hanging out with everybody that Friday evening with the adult beverages and the food, everybody came together, the camaraderie. And, you know, you got to be in the environment with people that's winning. I mean, Shay just talked about it. And that's one of the things that Andy always talked about, who you around, who you hanging with. Environment is key. And Andy always does an awesome job of bringing us together at the right time. But around leaders that's looking to go to the next level, it wasn't, and nothing was weak about that environment with the people. It was no small thinking. Everybody was talking about winning. And then even with the Super Saturday dollar, I mean, that virtual experience was crazy. Us watching the drone, us watching Andy in multiple places. I mean, one time he told us shut up while he was talking, and You had to be there to understand what I'm talking about. But it was just so exciting to be in that environment, but to be around people like Peggy, who came in with the jet, Andrea, me selling the dream. It was just a dream selling environment and event. And I definitely encourage everybody to do what you need to do to stay plugged in so you can get the special invitations to be where you need to be in order to go to the next level. And I appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for hopping on here real quick. The environment, the events, it's all designed to make you succeed, to help you succeed, to support you. That it's its only purpose. It always has been, and it always will be. It started with art, and 43 years later, same concept. It's highly successful.
So speaking of art.
Speaking of art.
Yeah, we got a video, don't we?
One thing though, I wanted to share the rally graphic.
Oh yeah.
One more time, you guys, for the text.
Drilling it in. All right, there's the text number again. RVPs only still. Text in, you know who you are, how many people you got watching, and we're going to see who the real players are at the end, and we're going to have the bass shops report in once we figure out who the top bass shops are. So, with that, let's roll that art video.
Let's see what Art has to say.
You know, a lot of reasons people come to work at AOE, a chance to be somebody, go in business for themselves, travel, have their own business, become financially independent if you're good enough. But you know, one of the reasons at the top is recognition. And we had an awards banquet one night, and I had an idea. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that same $50 that I spent, I'm going to go out and buy some t-shirts. And I was so excited, I just knew I had a great thing going. And I went home to tell Ann she was getting ready to go to the banquet, you know. And I went home, you know, I said, Ann, I'm so excited. Look at what I got. I got to wait and recognize all the people. And I showed her the t-shirt. And she said, well, throw up. Art, I can't believe you. And I'm not going to go up there and watch you make a fool out of yourself. Now, you can do that to high school kids, but you can't do that to adults. But we did it.
I guarantee this means something to him. The thing I've come to love about you the most, Steve, is you want to. John, to me, and his teammates were scrap iron. He was the toughest, meanest SOB there's ever been in A.O. Williams. He would get after you like you can't believe. And man, in my toughest of times, I knew there was somebody in Fort Lauderdale that would never quit.
We got people that come to RVP meetings now that some of them making 7-figure income, some being paid $3 and $4 and $5 and $6, $700,000, and we're up there calling their name and their hearts racing a little bit. But $1.50 t-shirt, hearts racing, you know, a little bit. And you know what? Some of these guys are being paid $200,000 a year. Don't get a t-shirt. You know what they do when the meeting's over? They go back up to the room and they cry and beat their head against the wall.
I've got for my inner circle and for the NSD stud trip in Palm Springs, I got a new award. It's the Pansy Award. It's a 4-foot trophy with flowers, pansies out here. You know what that stands for, right? So some of y'all that don't want to compete, you're going to be the recipient of the first A.O. Williams Pansy Award, right? Hey, don't get the first Pansy Award. Okay, out there.
20% of a sale, one sale, would have given him $3,400 in income. So this is a pretty expensive t-shirt, Harold. $3,400. You ought to tack that on your wall. Not many people pay that kind of money for a t-shirt anymore. You know what that t-shirt represents? It represents your dadgum life. That's all. That's just everything. That just means that you're somebody, that you're a stud, that you're a dadgum leader, that you make a dadgum difference, that you're somebody people can count on.
I sleep with a stud.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, if I was John Addison, I mean this sincerely. If I was John Addison for the next 6 months, I wouldn't ask Art Williams to speak. I wouldn't ask Rusty Crosser to speak as good as he is, or Randy Godfrey. I wouldn't let, especially you big bass shop guys that hold people back, I certainly wouldn't ask none of you to speak, you know. For the next 6 months, John Addison, I wouldn't have nobody speak but this man. Honestly, I'd have him. Hey, I'd have him on I'd have him every Monday on Monday morning TV. I'd have him speak at every super seminar, every RVP meeting. And if your little finger, if you were half as good as Mike Tuttle, just in your little finger as he is, you'd be a superstar.
So Bobby, I got you a little t-shirt. The King Stud of Studville.
When we became a sales force of 225,000, the first thing I did every day when I went to my office, before I did anything else, I signed 200 go-go letters personally, congratulating somebody that was just promoted to RVP or NSD or just joining our team. Always remember, folks, your people are your greatest asset. You win with people. You don't win with products. You don't win with commissions. You don't win with contests. Always remember, when you look at each person in your organization, pretend they've got a sign, a big neon sign on their dadgum chest that says, make me feel special, make me feel important. Building great teams begins with building personal relationships.
But I mean, in my toughest times, when I didn't know if I could keep on keeping on, I would see Francis Averett and I'd see Jenny Carter, and I'd say, gosh, if they can do it, I can do it. She made me tougher. She made me better. I love you.
You master the art of recognition. You don't miss a dadgum opportunity to let your people know when they do something, you love them and you're proud of them and you appreciate them. You send them a letter, give them a termite pin, give them a t-shirt, give them a flag. You put the name on a dadgum list. Let them know you're proud of them.
All right, just unbelievable. I tell you what, I love having the library of the videos we keep cranking out once or twice a week, and you can course through that on artwilliamsbest.com. You ain't done that for $20 a year, you're an idiot, okay? And for your people, I mean, to get that kind of quality stuff. And I'm getting ready to talk to our buddy John Lavin here. And John, there you are. So, hey, John, I was looking at that super seminar 1982, and I know you were there, I was there, and we were 100 years younger. But, you know, Art was talking about, we got people making $200,000 a year here, go break their furniture and get upset and cry in their room. Well, the funny thing is we didn't even have $100,000 rings till the end of 1983. And I think Art probably wasn't making $200,000 in 1982. And you think about the opportunity we have now, what we bought into, just amazing. So how you guys been? I know you just bought a new beach house or something. You guys are really rocking, and business is going through the roof, greatest times ever. Talk to us about what's going on. Give us an update, John.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I miss you guys. I miss you, SNSD Factory.
Oh.
And man, I can't wait to be back with everybody in Winston-Salem. But I got to tell you, the way it's going right now, I'm just fine with everything the way it is. You know, I really think, Andy, we talked about this the other night. There are times where if you choose to work, if you choose to get after it, you have exponential growth opportunities. And I recognize this as one of those times. Since all this started in mid-March, we pretty much have just been working. I think this weekend literally was the first time I took off, you know, for all these months. I mean, we've been working because I'm afraid to, because it's too good right now. Like every day that we don't focus on our business is amazing missed opportunity. And so we're working really hard, and our income has gone through the roof. Like a lot of you, we're experiencing the biggest income months we've ever experienced. I think 130 in April. May was 152, and this month so far, June, which will close out probably about 145 to 148 or some crazy thing. But why that's happening is because our team's incomes are exploding. We paid over $1 million to our sales force. That's without our income this past month. And that's up from, that was like at 600,000. So we're, up 400 grand in income to our team. And a lot of that's happening, or I would say most of it's happening because of plugging in to Get Bigger, Go Home, plug it into your environment and competing and being fortunate enough that some of our great teammates decided to plug in. And Anthony Hines has gone completely ballistic. He'll make over 90 grand again this month. So he's knocking off $30,000 income months. I mean, guys, and by the way, if you're newer, I don't mean to just, I want you to understand, I'm not trying to over promote anything. I want you to understand those of us that have been around, I'm looking at Andrea there on the screen with me. I know she's going to be talking. Her income's through the roof, way up over 90, going to hit 100 grand. I mean, it's just I look at Belda's numbers. Her recruiting numbers are crazy. People that are working right now are getting a massive return on their investment of time into the business. And there's reasons for that. Number one is we've got, open borders. We have no territories. You can recruit or sell anywhere. We're essential workers, so you're going to be able to work whenever you want. People are worried about their well-being, their families. They're worried about their mortality. I mean, you've got a disease that's killing people, so people are thinking about life insurance. They need emergency funds. They sure wish they'd had their 90 or 120-day emergency fund before this thing started. There's everything's 40 million people aren't working. There's all these college grads coming out now with no jobs. Folks, it's just now you're just in a race for outlets right now. And that's what we're doing. We've recruited over 1,000 people the last 3 months in a row in our hierarchy, which is big for us. And we got people competing. April and Rufus, I don't know if you all have checked their numbers. They got a $100,000 ring, and then when it arrived, they got their ring, and then the next week they went over 200,000. So they have to send it back, right? They made over 50 grand last month. Their daughter Apris made over 20 grand. That family made 70 grand last month, and Apris got promoted to RVP. That's Anthony's, I think, his 8th. He needs one more to go SNSD. And so and they're at 70,000 in income this month. 2 years ago, they weren't here. They're coming up in August on their 2-year anniversary. So, when you see things like this and you see growth and you see people, you look at what Peggy's hierarchy has done, and they didn't slow down. They just kept going. Her income didn't slow down for a second. So we're at these unprecedented times, Andy, and so I just choose to work right now. I'm not going to let this get by me. We did, Patty did get my son, Zach. He's got an interesting, Zach got promoted to RVP, by the way, Zach and Fran. So that was very exciting to have our family, our son and daughter-in-law go RVP. And he was down the shore, and I don't know, somehow he can find a way to spend my money, and it's always in the, Dad, you got to sell the dream, and, this is important for the family, and we'll entertain. And so he finds this house on the bay, and it had just been rehabbed and all redone, and the guy needed to get rid of it. And so we got a great deal on the bay in Margate, New Jersey, overlooking the sunset. Patty's dream. Patty has always said, house on the water, house on the water, house on the water. I always said, house on a golf course, house on a golf course, house on a golf course. Patty wins. House on the water. Or I'll drive to the golf course. She's happy, right? And so, anyhow, things have never been this good, and they've never been this good for our people that are working. And so, I just want to encourage y'all, and I'll talk for a few minutes on about that if you want, just what I think the work is for the newer people right now, because it's such a special time, Andy. Such a special time.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's amazing. What's going on right now, and you got to seize the opportunity, and it's never, like you said, never been like this. Don't know how long this little patch will last. We'll do some things differently coming out. Our business will be even bigger and better as it comes out, but you really got to seize the opportunity. The second thing is, we talked about the early days and people weren't even making a couple 100,000, but you were just talking about a little bit selling the dream and what have you. Talk to the newer folks about what it takes to build, about being an RVP, making sure that they have the ability to run their own thing and build something. We recruit 10 or more to produce districts. and get people to produce 10 recruits a month. So more districts come out, and they get themselves in positions for, 3 separate legs get you 50, 6 separate legs get you 100. Like you guys, you had 61 do it. You had 1,000 the first month you did, I think 3 months ago. It's a simple math problem. And just how, if you just the 3 who get 3, which is 12, and just the simplicity of the business, but also with that eye on, Bill, because we talked about RVP or bust before we got to RVP, and that's the place to be.
Yeah, well, we talked about RVP, but really I think today, in today's world, we have people talking about SVP, as district leaders. There's no reason that a new person walking in isn't already planning to get the SVP contract. That's vice president with 3 vice presidents. And you go, that's kind of crazy. How does a person have that kind of vision? You create it. If they're on your team, you're the person who creates the vision. It's just it's a conversation that you could say, we're going to double digit, or you could say, you know what? We're going to get you a team where you've got like 3 double digiters, and you're going to be recruiting 50 a month, right? And you're going to have this hat. You're going to produce an RVP, and you're going to produce, 50 recruits a month with you and your RVP, 3 months in a row, and you're going to get recognized. And it's a conversation. What are we talking to new people about? What are we talking about? Let's get you licensed, right? We're going to learn, right? Let's do an FNA and get you licensed. You could talk about that. That's part of it. That's goes without saying. But how about talking about using your leadership to work for you? How about somebody who comes in and goes, you know what? I was thinking about this earlier. I was talking to the team earlier. When I came into business, I was 23 years old. And Dick Walker, somewhere along the way, quickly, I got the idea. I learned that he only makes money when we make money. So this was my RVP. And somewhere early on, I got, this guy makes more money when I make more money. He makes more money when more of our team makes more money. He makes more money when more of our team dominate the leaders bulletin. He makes more money when when we're fundamentally sound. He's only going to tell us to do things that will make us more money. He has a financial interest in us making more money, and more money and Fund Primerica comes through recruiting. So you can make more money with your own pen. You can make more money being a securities wizard. And by the way, I'm not saying don't learn that stuff. Of course you want to learn that stuff, but that's the hard Primerica. Fun Primerica is when you have recruits coming in who have big goals and big dreams, and you know what their goals and dreams are, and then they're willing to back their goals and dreams up with work. I mean, that's Fun Primerica, because now they've got a goal and a dream, and you've got a method to help them get it. And it all revolves around double-digit recruiting. How loud is the double-digit recruiting message being made? If you go get Anthony's onto this thing now, instead of getting 3, with COVID, he says, everything's faster now because you can do so many more appointments. Everything's faster. We got to double up all the goals. Like if you were going to get 3 or 4 recruits a month direct, then you just need to up that to 6 directs. And if you get 6 directs and you help them each get 2 or 3 recruits, all of a sudden you're at 20. He said 20 is the new 10. Why not have 20 be the new 10? Why can't somebody walk in the front door now and not only become a double digiter, but be in the search immediately from day one for their double digit? And now all of a sudden they're at 20. You got 20 people coming in. They don't even know what they're doing. Well, the great thing about not knowing what you're doing with 20 people is you have to put you have to put your leadership team to work for you. You get to use them for a while, where they train all your people, they're getting things all set up, and then all of a sudden you're licensed and trained because you've done so much activity that we're going to hand over a whole team to you. Now you get to work easy Primerica. You got, 15, 20, 30 people on your team, and I guarantee you 20% of them want to go sprint district. They want to win. They want to get their bonuses. They want to get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 bonuses, and now they're looking at you to do it, and you're trained. And now they're taking you on all those appointments. You don't have to book any. You don't have to book any appointments. I like Primerica, where I don't make any calls. I don't book any appointments. I'm going to encourage you guys to get good enough where your people are so impressed with you and trust you, they trust you so much that they want to introduce you to everybody they know. That's Fun Primerica, where they're booking your schedule out, and people are showing up, and all you're doing is I had a guy today. He said it was a follow up from last night, and I got on a call with him today. I said, hey, we're really excited to talk to you, have you come on board and all. And I said, do you have any questions? He said, well, he asked me one about license. He said, I had another, but I forget it. I said, well, he said, generally the question most people have is, where am I going to get my leads from? How am I going to have unlimited numbers of places to go? And I said, that's simple. So you're going to have clients refer you, but the best is, as a recruiter and builder, your new teammates are going to take you, once you're trained and once you're competent and once you know what you're doing, and you prove by your example that you're a leader, they're going to introduce everybody they know to you. I said, how did I meet you? Through Nichelle. How did I meet Nichelle? Through Shalia. How did I meet Shalia? Through Connie, right? How did all that happen? I didn't know you. Folks, the Primerica system is a new part-timer introduces you to people they know. So we've got to know in advance that the questions people have is this a good company? Will I be doing good things for people? Can I trust you, my trainer? And what's in it for me? That's what they're asking every time. What's in it for me? And how are you going to help me create unlimited number of places to go? If I give you my list and we're working on my list, when we're all done with my list, do I have anywhere to go? Did you use up all my people, or do I have places to go now? Well, the best trainers create more markets. They create more recruits who want to sprint the district, who want to get promoted. They help clients. They get some referrals for their new recruit. The new recruit sees their market expanding, not shrinking. And so double-digit recruiting is not an option. And the faster you accept that and go for it and give it everything you got, the better off your life's going to be. And that all comes down to leadership. And so by being in your environment, Andy, and then starting a breakfast club, it's just scary what's happened at our breakfast club. We got 150 to 200 people every Monday at our breakfast club. And I think we had 70 people at the table. 70 at the table. Like, to not be at the table is weird. We had over 50 RVPs do 10 by 10 at our breakfast club. We had like 30-something future RVPs do 10 by 5. We had 80 people in our breakfast club, double digit. Why is that? How did that happen? Culture. It's all a message from the leaders. And so, man, we're jazzed about getting back in there and competing and being around all you guys and playing all out. But, there's nothing different, nothing new. It comes down to, SVP is the place to be. That's where it all starts. That's where you get your $300,000 ownership. That's where you have RVPs. That's where all the big bonuses exist. I mean, you take your income, like Jackie Ashford, she went to SVP and she got an $18,000 bonus. She was getting like $4,000 and $5,000 and $6,000 bonuses. She goes to SVP and gets an $18,000 bonus. So folks, you ought to be thinking about, how do I get 3 RVPs? Well, one thing we know for sure is they're not going to be an RVP if they don't double digit. So the real question is, how do I recruit enough people, have enough conversations, and be enough of an example to find somebody else, a foxhole buddy who wants it bad, who will get up early, go to bed late, give it everything they got to reach their goals and dreams. And so that's what we're in search of, and that comes through quantity. You can't get quality by recruiting quality. There's no such thing as that. It does not exist. There's no test that we can give a man or a woman to determine whether they got what it takes in their heart to go for it. Art always said the only way we could find out, talk's cheap. He said the only way we could find out whether somebody's got what it takes is to put a uniform on them, put them out on the field, and bat them around a bunch. Then we'll see if they got what it takes. And Primerica is the same thing. We can't, just because you did Mr. or Mrs. Everything at your last company, chances are you're gonna have a rough time here, right? But if you're smart and you put your ego away and you did something great in the past, then you know how to do something great. If you put your ego away and take the coaching and run the play, then what's going to happen is you're going to move very, very quickly. That's what April and Rufus did. They ran very, very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised that they go over 300,000 here in 2 more months. That's how fast that got. They had 129 recruits and 88,000 in premium after giving up a replacement that did 50-50. So their replacement did 50. Their replacement actually did 60 last month, and they did 129 and 88,000. So in less than 2 years, how's that possible? Well, they had a thread of success in their fabric of life when they showed up. They had already been successful. I found this old paper, Andy, you'll find this interesting. Found this thing from Bob Safford. This is Bob Safford, 1965, on recruiting with his old company, Alexander Hamilton Life. He's one of the founders, who's the founder of that company. And he said a couple things that I think are really, really important. I want to share this with you, and then I'll let you ask another question. He said, I set out on a voyage of discovery, which carried me through biographies and autobiographies of all sorts of dissertations on success and the lives of successful people until I finally reached a point in which I realized that the secret I was trying to discover lay not only what the people did, but also what made them do it. What was that? He always called it that thread of success in their fabric of life. What did someone do at a younger age different from everyone else? He said, success is most easily achieved by finding an expert in what you want and then doing exactly what they tell you to do. Isn't that amazing? We've got a system here where we only get paid when you succeed. We'll tell you exactly what to do, and some of you will listen, and those are the people that we're going to run with right now. Some of you won't listen, and we'll be nice to you until you figure it out. Some of you won't listen, and you won't be here. Some of you won't listen, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the way, the light bulb will go off, and you'll go, I need to listen. He said, when things aren't going wrong, don't question the system. Don't question the company. Don't question the manager. Question yourself. And then the final thing he said that I really liked here is in a book called The Common Denominator of Success, the author was a guy named Gray. He said, we've got to realize right from the start that success is something which is achieved by the minority of people and is therefore unnatural. Success is achieved by the minority and is therefore unnatural. So if you want to be successful, you need to know you're going to have to separate yourself from everybody. And that separation comes with double-digit recruiting and double-digit recruiters that you've brought into business, that you've developed. And once you've got that going, and you're now a reproducer, you're a double-digit recruiter, but you've reproduced a double-digit recruiter, and then you do it again, game's over. And if you've got people on your team that do that, there's a geometric growth that starts to happen. There's multiples that start to happen because the business starts to take on a life of its own that you have nothing to do with because you've transferred knowledge. You found somebody else that wants to do something bad. They found a leader they can believe in. They're doing exactly what you're asking them to do. And I know, Andy, that you and your team that's on these meetings, all we're in search of is someone that will be coachable, that'll work hard, that has integrity, they're competitive, they want to win bad, and they're willing to give whatever they got to make that happen. So
that's great stuff. I'll tell you what, and, take about 3-4 minutes. I know you're wedged right there between University of Pennsylvania and Princeton. So you got all these Ivy League folks lined up at your door with these pedigrees and degrees, as Gurpreet says, more degrees than a thermometer. You got all these people with all these wonderful resumes. I'm going back to $1 million paid out in the month to your guys. I'm going back to Lisa Jones just went over $400,000. Single mom, living in her mom's house, riding the bus to figure out how to get it going. Bruce Kalk was a bouncer, lived in somebody's cellar, not a basement. A cellar with the door, almost like a storm shelter.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have Bruce on in a few weeks here, which is going to be exciting. But just take 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes about some of your guys that people think, well, I don't have that, I don't have this. It's the desire, the threads of success. It might have been cutting grass, delivering papers, babysitting, whatever. But talk about some of the things your guys came from to be where they are today.
Yeah, so Anthony's a great example. So Anthony was recruited by his by one of my managers. My office manager was the mother of one of my agents, and this guy came by selling newspapers. And Anthony, he said he wasn't selling papers; he was running a crew that was selling papers. But he was there at the door with this young person, teaching them how to sell papers. And she said, "Boy, if you could do that, you'd be great in my daughter's business." And that's where Anthony came from. He came from the Raymond Rosen projects in North Philly. His mom grew up on food stamps. He grew up in the worst of places. He now lives in $1 million home in a gated community with a golf club out in the suburbs. His kids go to the best schools. He's changed his life, forever. And I'm sure he'll, within the next probably 6 to 9 months, he'll go over $1 million. Jackie Ashford, she worked with teen pregnancies in the school system of Philadelphia. And so she was in the social work world, and she made $6,000 her third month with us part-time, and soon thereafter went full-time. She just went over $250,000, skyrocketing now to $300,000 full ownership and beyond. Khalil Marcano worked for State Farm right before he left there. He worked in a cubicle, answering the phone, making $30,000 a year for State Farm. Hated that. And when I met him, he had parents with his family, a little Trinidadian restaurant that closed down within 6 months of when I met him. And he went full time right away. Aaron Fisher had a home improvement business. Thomas Chernick, I met Thomas. He was a waiter, and I met him. I did a meeting down at Southeastern University in Lakeland for a guy named Jimmy Ferguson. Jimmy said, we got 30 people coming to a meeting, and we bought pizzas for 30. Like 8 people showed up. They were all freshmen in college from other places. I'm going, what the hell? I was ready to kill myself. And the meeting ended, and then comes bopping is Thomas Chernick comes popping in after. So I heard there was some pizza, and so I met him, and then I met him the next day, recruited him, and so he changed his life forever. It goes on and on and on and on with the people now that are absolutely changing their lives because of this system that's been invented, and then by being plugged into us and what we're doing, we take it to a whole new level. And you guys are the same way with your, you're not just plugged into any old group. You're plugged into people who know how to make building and growing happen. And so you're saved from being exposed to Primerica by a salesperson, by an advisor. And we do amazing work as an advisor. We have some amazing people that make a lot of money with their own pen, but they're not building freedom for themselves. The minute they stop, the income stops. Well, there's some residual, but I think the greatest opportunity we've got is to get paid on vice presidents who are going for ownership. Better than that is to override owners. I mean, if somebody owns their business, where are they going? I think of Dick Walker right now. Dick Walker, when he passes, he'll leave that business to his son, Mark. I'm not slowing down. When I pass, I'll leave that business to Zach and Sophie. Zach's not slowing down. So at some point, the second gens are going to override second gen families. I mean, that's unheard of. It's just mind boggling what we've got here. And so I just would encourage all of you, take the time to study this thing. Take the time to understand this thing. But take the time to study it and understand it by doing it, by getting on massive numbers of appointments, on working on your presentation, on recording those presentations, on taking notes, on understanding what's being said and why it's being said. The people that you're following that are successful, they know exactly why they say what they say every single time. And it's planned. It's a very, very planned. They know what questions to ask. All you have to do is copy. So, Charlemont Genestein was a cab driver. Hubert Lejeune was a security guard without a gun. Patrick Frederick worked at Home Depot, was literally prospecting the aisle, of Home Depot. Tesler Sanat had been in law enforcement in Haiti. Came here. I don't know what he wasn't doing anything. I don't know what he was doing. He got to RVP without a car, like Lisa did. Just crazy stories of people that want to win so bad that they'll do whatever it takes. And we've got this amazing moment to go do it.
Well, appreciate you, man. That was great stuff. Thank you for sharing, and look forward to catching up with you guys and getting a drink somewhere where neither one of us live. And that day will come soon. And appreciate you. Keep rocking. We'll talk to you later this evening. We're talking. So thank you, John.
You're coming over to our group.
I'm coming over to your group. All right. Great to see you, man.
We're ready. See you guys. Love you. Appreciate you.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I miss John.
I know.
In fact, a lot of people were commenting that they miss John, they miss John and Patty, they miss us all being together, right? Some of the comments that you guys were so awesome to share with us. Says, wow, Karen Lee says, wow, John Lavin, it's like the millionaire mingle. Remember that? Long time ago, we used to all get together and talk to all the millionaires.
I've heard tale of such a
I've
legend.
heard tales. We've got to grow, grow, grow. Kevin Clemens, explosive income growth, awesome. The time is perfect to explode. Technisha Day, I want to be an RVP, right? Congratulations to Wes and Shay from Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, Ahmad posted that on the social wall,
Oh,
too.
did he do it there, too?
Let's go, Wes and Shay.
Sherry Johnson, more money and fun. Primerica comes through recruiting. Best trainer, I like this line.
Yeah,
The
I
best
love it.
trainers create a market for their people. Best
more of a
more of a
market, less
market,
of a-
right?
Yep.
Best, let's see, what else? That's about pretty much what everybody had to say, a lot about culture,
Yep.
right? So thanks, John. We appreciate your time. We're looking forward to when we can all get
Take
back
a look
together.
at the social wall, Matt, and we got a few things here. Eddie Espinoza, of course, posing with his 2 cups right here. Fixing himself a nice cup of coffee in the morning.
He had a coffee. Nice.
He said something, hashtag show up, blow up, like that.
I do have to say they are the greatest coffee cups.
Yeah, they really
They really are good cups. You'll be glad to have them.
And then, when I was sitting there watching that Art Williams thing, he said, you win with people, not products. So I was like, all right, I got to put that up there. So
Yeah,
I put an Art Williams quote
Yeah.
on our Twitter, and that showed up
T-shirts.
there. So, yeah.
T-shirts are the key. T-shirts and the right percentage of T-shirts,
Yeah.
right?
Not everybody can get them.
Not everybody can get them, but a lot do.
Or Andy with his tricycles and Jaguars. Some people win Jaguars, some people win tricycles,
Wow.
some people get nothing.
Or you get a pansy trophy.
Yeah. Yep.
The
Or the
4-foot
pansy
trophy.
Can't do that anymore.
Yep. He's very creative.
All right, so
Where are we? Oh, we're on
Trish,
to
are you
the
ready?
next.
Is it
Trish,
that time?
yes. Are you there, Trish? She's frozen.
I'm ready.
Oh, she's
I'm
there,
ready.
but your picture is not.
No.
You are frozen, but keep talking.
Yeah, your audio's good. So who are the top
I
teams?
did what I was supposed to.
You're doing great. So why don't you read us all the RVPs?
Going down the whole list and announcing everybody real
Yes, everybody, because we're going to recognize all the RVPs that are involved.
Yeah.
Step
Okay,
one.
yep.
Right? Even if your numbers aren't great, the beginning
Yes.
is being plugged in, and that's part of being
and there
plugged
there are 38.
in. Oh my gosh, read them out the best you can.
There are 38 RVPs that reported in.
All right, you
Yep.
got
Okay. Elizabeth Harris, 3. Mar Malejo, thank you for the gave me 3. Bobby Cheeks, 6. Judy Marshall, 8. Ian Kahn, 8. Lee Nguyen, 8. Robert Berryman, 10. Merv Wiley Rouse, 10. Jamal Richmond, 10. I'm going to butcher this one, and I'm really
Do
sorry.
your best.
Host Cease, Bella Rice, 11. Joe Red, 11. Vince Lane, 11. Bobby Hall, 12. Jolene Janke, 15. Savitri Crenshaw Rodriguez, 18. Redner, Jana Q. What do I have to do? Oh, is, where am I now? Oh, 18. Keith Ottinger, 19. Wesson Shea, 19. Aaron and Lakeisha Thomas, who are Wesson Shea's new RVP, 19. Gigi McGinnis, 19. J10 and Mike Martin, 23. Nikki Peel, 25. Tanya Searcy, 30. Eddie Espinosa, 33. William Cofer, 39. Daryl Julian, 39. Shanti Walker, 41. Tammy Lewis, 43. And the 4 RVPs that I want their people to report in, only these 4. Belda Rubio, 50. Hamad Rizvi, 50. Mary Hayes, 52. And Walter Charles, 58.
All right.
Damn,
Walter,
Tammy.
58.
I just got your text, Tammy. It says they are the best mugs, and we need another one. Now we're fighting for this one. Close.
Close.
Close
All
to
by
playing
2
the game.
people.
Almost made it to the playoffs.
So,
that's what we should call this. This is the
playoff section. We can rename it.
Yeah.
We're going to call this the playoffs. So here we are at the playoffs. There's 4 teams in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So you will begin now. Anybody who texted before right now, Trish will have deleted you, so you'll have to do it again.
Yep. So now, if you're in the base shops of Belda Rubio, Hamad Rizvi,
yep,
Mary Hayes, and Walter Charles, please text that number, put it in your phone, and basically we want to know who you are and what your solution number is. If you're new and then maybe your first time, you haven't signed your IBA yet, or whatever reason you don't have a solution number, you can just put some X's in there, but we still need to know who you are. And we're only going to do 1 count per phone number. So one phone number can't report multiple people and multiple solution numbers. Each person individually watching has to take out their phone and text that number. And if you don't have a text or a cell phone, I think you can go on Google Voice or
Smoke signals,
Skype, or I'm sure there's ways for you to get on the internet and send a text message. So
let's remind everybody, you have 20 minutes, basically 15. If you make sure that you're watching YouTube in real time, right?
Sure
Otherwise you're not lagging, because we will cut you off at our time.
Yep.
So 8:30 our time, when almost 8:28. We're going to give you as long as we can to the end. Remember, the mug, 10 minutes with Andy tonight. See who's got it. We have a new player.
Yep. And can you put the graphic up one last time?
One more time.
Put down who their RVP is?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Can we see the graphic? Right there.
RVP last name and solution number.
Example.
Yeah, sorry, I said who
RVP
you are,
Young.
who your RVP is, and your solution number. So you're going to be putting, Belda, Hamad.
It's not Young, RVP Young ABC 12. That's not it.
That's
an example.
It's an example. So you're going to be putting Belda in your solution number. You're going to be putting Malta in your solution number. You're going to be Hamad in your solution number. You're going to be putting Mary in your solution number if you're in those base shops. Text that number. Save it in your phone. Make sure your people know it. Make sure everybody's reporting.
Hurry.
We'll find out. 20 minutes.
All right. So next up are some incredible below RVP producers, regional leaders from right here in South Georgia. Andy's going to talk with Tamara at Washington and her mom, Sarah Henderson.
All right, we're in play. You got me back? All right, here we are. Hey, just a couple shout outs real quick. Mickey and Milton Peel have done 50 recruits by 30,000 2 months in a row. And man, you don't know who they are, but they were in the original Breakfast Club with Walter Charles. And, we came out of Penn Belt. We were talking about 25, 30 years, I don't remember, long time ago, back when Noah dropped us off at the Ark. But Mickey and Milton, they've been making a run. They got great stuff happening. Been talking to them. And then Peggy Hightower, the great Peggy Hightower, and that team, $1 Million Earners, they're on their G4, Peggy's G4 airplane, flying back from Bonita Springs. They've been vacationing down there for 5 or 6 days because they figure if they go to a home that Peggy owns on the coast in a private airplane, they're not really around anybody, so they don't have to worry about all the other restrictions. So shout out to them. They'll be on watching next week, but they're up in the air, so you'll probably see them over eating peanuts and having Cokes or whatever they do in a G4. Anyway, so as Darla just said, Sarah and Tamara, I met these folks a while back, and they're on the great Tim and Terry Sheridan team, who've just done an awesome job moving out and leading by example through this whole COVID thing. Great numbers, great leaders, mentorship, and of course under the Robbie Katie Hall team. And they've got things moving. They did 32. I got it right here. 32 by 31,000 in June. Tightening up that RVP deal and getting everything in place. I know that Sarah, worked in the sales industry. Remembered Art Williams back when he was the old coach. Listening to his tapes 25, 30, 35 years ago. Tamara was a great basketball player, motivational speaker. And they got things going on. So, hey, guys, let's jump in wherever you want. Tag team.
Hello. How you doing?
Great. How y'all doing?
Great. We're doing good.
Right.
I'm excited. It was good to see you on the 4th I'm glad we were able to make it down. It felt very good to be in the presence of everybody again.
Now you talk about the 4th of July op meeting live in person in Swan. It was so good to see you guys. I saw you like, dadgum, we need to put them on that dadgum TV show. Look what they did. Drove all the way from Albany, Georgia. Look at that. So talk to us. Don't be shy. Don't be acting like y'all don't talk. This is live TV, so let's go.
Really and truly, we actually came together and made up in our mind
go ahead.
to 4-point game plan, drive districts. And not only that, but when people come into the business, give them back their vision. You know, in life, we tend to, let life pass us by. Things happen. Next thing you know, what we dreamed of doing, that fire burns out. So we was like, let's give everybody back their vision and let them know that Primerica can give them the avenue to fulfill that vision burning on the inside of them. Constantly motivating people and let them know that the sky, I always say the sky is beyond, the limit is beyond the sky. Like it's beyond the sky. It doesn't even stop at the sky. And so just making people believe and know that everything that we've learned by being coachable, you have to be coachable. Me playing basketball, I know what it takes, as far as having a coach. A coach is not going to tell you everything you want to hear, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear if you have an amazing coach. And I can definitely say Coach Terry has put us in that environment where we have coaches that tell us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. And we take it and we figure it out. And from there, we do exactly what they tell us to do. And not only that, teamwork. We have some amazing leaders on our team, LaTanya, Natalie. We just recruited Brittany out of North Dakota because my mom, she just went, she was determined to go. She knew it was a team there. And she said, I'm a drive even if I go by myself. And she did that. And we're just grateful and thankful that we have the leaders that we have.
So you drove to North Dakota?
I did. My son met me in Tennessee, though.
But how long a drive is that?
30 hours.
30 hours. Wow, doing what it takes. And I know you've been successful in your life. And what's it take to raise a successful young lady like the lady sitting there to your right, and a great family like you got? Just talk a little bit about success and your success.
Well, I started in retail when I was 20. I made up in my mind I did not want to be that mother that depended on the system. Did not want to be that mother. So I committed myself to going in retail, which required my life. I committed my time to my job and my children. I did not have a social life. I just worked and I came home to my kids. And I poured into them, whatever gift God has for you, I'm going to do my job. It's my job as a mother to find and help you figure out that gift and pour into you. And that's what I did with my kids. I poured into them and I helped them recognize the gift that God has in them. And before I knew it, I had been in retail for 30 years, 30 years. And life happened and my mom got real sick. And I knew I had to make a decision because retail consumes you. And I had to make a decision. Do I go home, take care of my mom, or do I stay with this job that I'm committed to? And I found out when I went home to take care of my mom that the job was not as committed to me as I was to it. And I found out I had to make a decision. I needed income. And I was already in Primerica, but I was that recruit that was just a number. I was not working the business. My daughter was working the business. I got recruited because I wanted to, support her. And once I went home to take care of my mom, I knew I had to come up with a system because my job did not commit to me. So I started going to the events, and the event is what did it for me. So I encourage everybody to plug in, go to the events because that's what did it for me. I remember went to Get Big or Go Home, and Terry asked me, so how was it? I said, it was great. I said, the only thing I can tell you is I feel like God has introduced me to something that the rest of the world knows nothing about. And that's truly how I felt. I felt like, I closed the door and God opened the one for me. And all I can tell you is plug in, plug in, plug in. That's where you learn. That's where you get your knowledge. That's where you get your inspiration. That's where you get your commitment and make a commitment. You have to make a commitment. You have to say, you know what? I commit to 1 recruit a month, if that's what it is. I commit to getting on the Zooms. I commit to going to the events. And once you make that commitment, it just drives you and it gets you to a place that you never thought you would be. And right now, it got us here. So all I can say is plug into people, just like Art Williams say, plug into people. So that's all I can say.
Well, that's a great job. I'll tell you what, I know you're proud, and you know, whether it was driving 30 hours to North Dakota, whether it's driving 9-10 hours to Winston-Salem, coming up for Super Saturdays, coming up for 4th of July, and I appreciate y'all doing that. We had such a great time there, special time on my 40th anniversary. It was so nice to see y'all there. But doing what it takes, getting the job done. Proud of you guys. You're going to be great RVPs, SVPs, NSDs, SNSD, because you're part of the SNSD factory.
Oh.
And we're proud of you. Look forward to seeing you live and in person real soon. Y'all take care. Keep running. Thank you for being here tonight.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So wrapping up tonight, I was thinking about it. It was 40 years ago. I feel like dadgum Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It was 20 years ago today. Sgt. Pepper got crap. Time was just flying by. But 40 years ago this week, I went to a dadgum fast start school like Sarah just talked about. I showed up at the big event. And I mean, lives changed that, even the 4th of July. I mean, it was so special, you know. And that's why we put those on. People say, well, I'm not going to that, I'm not going to this. You pick and choose, do all that kind of stuff. Well, I said, if you watch my video that they play before, you know, I speak a lot of places. At the end of the day, I mean, once they said, there's where you're supposed to be, that's where I was. I didn't wonder with Larry Waddell or Bob Turley, Art Williams, I was there. And 40 years ago this week, I went to a fast start school with a regional leader named Larry Waddell. He wasn't even an RVP. Our RVP, Bob Turley, this is crazy, one of the 7 founders, Bob Turley said we need to be in Atlanta. And man, it was like we crammed in 4 people to a room and we did what it took. And that changed my life. If I didn't go to that meeting, I mean, I'm probably not sitting here right now. You know, and then later on, I remember Richard Shaw and a group of us, we had about 11 people in a room, and we're all playing cards on Saturday night late, just, you know, building those relationships like we do at the big 3-day schools, which is funny to me because people say, why y'all do a 3-day school? Because that's what Art did. And to me, what's crazy is every time I tell people that's what Art did, I always have somebody go, but why? And I'm like, wait a second. Art did that, and that's what we do, and you're wondering why? I don't know. Maybe you should go ask Art. I run the play that the original guy, the billionaire. I mean, what? Are you kidding me? But I remember 11 of us in a room. We had sandwiches floating. We borrowed cars. We had sandwiches floating, playing a card game. And Rick Stamey was a guy back in the day. He's gone now. But Rick Stamey, we had a little poker game with pennies and nickels and quarters, mainly pennies and nickels and dimes. And Rick Stamey, 11 of us in there, he walked out with all $21 of the money we had. We had sandwiches by Saturday night that were just little baggies. We didn't have Ziplocs back then, baggies. And they're like floating until they didn't float. They hit the bottom of the cooler with the water and stuff. I mean, hungry people that want to go get something done. How hungry are you? You want to go get something done? You want to do something great? You got to make a decision. You got to play at a higher level. You got to be a leader. You got to be the loudest voice and the loudest right voice. What do you got to be at everything? That's what I said. I didn't have to think anymore. I don't know if you're thinking things, thinking is going to cost money. I don't care if somebody says, I've been thinking, that's a check. Anytime people are thinking, that's pretty much going to cost you some money, one way or the other. You want to grow, you make a decision to win, and you lead. Because if you don't make that decision, then your people aren't going to follow you. I can't get my guy. You ain't got no guys because you ain't a guy. I mean, people say, well, I got so many coachable people under me, got so many people to follow me. Because I was a great follower and am a great follower. I went to the schools, I did all that stuff. So you make a decision what level you want to play at. There's never been a better time than right now. Our Winston-Salem, August 7th and 8th is going to be insane. You want to be here, you want to be those people. You have to do some big numbers to do that. And Darla's already found a place where we can put 50 people, 80 people, 100 people, 200, maybe up to 500. I mean, they're going to be all spread out. We don't care. We're going to do whatever it takes. And I guarantee you, when we come back off that moving sidewalk, it's going to be on. What level are you going to be playing when it's on? So don't be a punk. Don't pass on everything. You make a decision to be a leader, do what you're supposed to do. So I think we got some numbers here.
I was just thinking, like, when I talked to the place, they said lot of people. I was like,
I didn't know you had heard
I'm
back to him
so
until just now. I was like, oh, wow.
In 2 days, we heard 100 and 500, like
I know.
500, 100?
I know, we were like giddy.
Yeah, we're all crazy about it. Oh, man.
Can't wait for us all to be back together.
Yep.
Right? As much fun as this has been. It really has been a ton of fun. But after everybody came on Super Saturday, I was like, oh, yeah.
It's a lot easier than doing, this crap to try and make it seem like there's people here.
So, that's just really to make us feel better.
Or at least if we just bring in Chris.
All right,
we could just
there you
have
go.
Chris Gray.
Don't you have a Chris Gray?
There you go. We could just have
it's all
Chris
good
Gray.
now.
One-man audience.
Tamara and Sarah, you
That was
guys
awesome.
are rocking it. So doing the play, running the play, showing up, getting your people going. Good job. We're glad that you came. Thank you so much. So, Trish, are you out there?
She's muted
Gotta
right now,
unmute
Trish.
yourself, Trish.
I'm sorry, you caught me off guard.
That's okay. We're coming up to the...
Do you need another minute?
Yes.
Okay.
1 minute.
All right, let's
I mean,
see.
you're rolling in.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, so let's
That is great.
let's just go to
let's
that
do-
graphic
yep.
you got queued up, and we'll show how you can show up on the social wall. We're going to run that as a scroll at the end. So if you want to show up, get this in last minute. Make sure you post on Twitter, Instagram using that hashtag. Public post, obviously. Private post will not show up. Or you can mention us publicly on Facebook at Let's Get Big or Go Home.
Okay.
And obviously comments, emails, instant private messages, stories on Facebook, those aren't going to show up. So those are the rules. That's how you get them to show up. We've already got people with stuff showing up if you want to cut to them. I know, looks like Shay posted that winners travel. I'm assuming, looks like a selfie was for Shay. But yeah, winners travel, winners show up. So we got the socially distanced viewing party at one of our offices. So yeah, it's a big deal. Make sure that you commit to showing up to everything, winning everything, and making sure that you got your people there and not just yourself there.
Always know
how many people you got in the room.
How many people you got in the room. Be aware of what's going on around you. I want to do one last reminder graphic for the August dates, if you've got that, Matt. Should be close by. This beautiful graphic that Amy made. Was poking around through. She was like, "Do you have any pictures?" So I'm like going through all my pictures and like, I don't know if this will work. And look what she did with it. It looks great. So August 7th and 8th. Please go on and register. You're going to hear us say it a million times. You must have a registration in your name to be included in recognition. You also need to go ahead and go, if you're an RVP that's not been plugged in with us before, go out to the downloads page on getbigorgohome.com, download the new RVP form, fill it out, email it to Trish at tickets@nightglass.com, and we'll make sure that your numbers are included.
Is there a cost associated with that event?
Free.
Wow.
Again, free.
Again
free. Trish is happy about free.
So yeah, and
So much fun.
But if you want to be recognized, you got to register and you got to have a ticket in your name. So why are you sitting here? Grab your phone or whatever spare device you got there.
Don't wait.
Go to getbigorgohome.com and register right now.
Yep. Go take care of it, then it's done, and you don't have to worry about it later on when we're hounding you to do it.
Yep, and tell your people.
All right, Trish, is that enough time? Do we kill enough time?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm
Look at
ready.
you. Now you're moving.
All right.
I can see you. It's awesome.
Good gracious. They definitely got the hint.
Good.
They responded like they were supposed to. So Belda's team reported in with 44.
44 from Belda.
Then Mary's team reported in with 48.
These are good numbers, solid numbers.
Excellent numbers. Walter Charles' team reported in with 50.
Okay.
And the winner is Hamad Rizvi, reported in with 58.
Oh, 8 more than he said ahead?
Yeah.
Is that?
He has
it is
58.
Eddie's upline. You're right. Wow.
Wow.
That's awesome. Please.
Everybody's mixing it up now.
I know. I love this. Hamid, right? That's how you say his name?
I thought it's Hamad.
Hamad.
It's Hamad.
Hamad, I'm sorry. Email tickets@nightglass.com right now so that I can send you the link for your
Right
Zoom
now.
time, but do it right now, and that way you can get it out to your people quickly.
What's that email address?
Tickets at nightglass.com. Tickets, Tickets, at nightglass, nightglass.com, for those of you who don't know. Also, Hamad, include your mailing address, because that's how you'll get your cup.
Yep.
And a picture when you get it. We love pictures.
So
we love visuals.
Great job,
Good
Ahmad.
job. I love
Great job.
somebody
Everybody
new.
else came in close.
Yes.
I mean, really big numbers from a lot of players. More RVPs playing the game. We'll get maybe the
Closing
Stanley.
that gap
Yep.
between my count and the people who do it. That's
Yep.
very awesome.
Yep.
Increasing accountability. It's great. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. So much fun again. It's 8:30 exactly.
Yep.
We did good.
All right, guys. Have a great
All right,
night.
you guys. See you next week.